I used to believe family could humiliate you and still call it love. On my 26th birthday, my sister smashed a cake into my face so hard I saw stars, and she laughed like it was the funniest thing she'd ever done. But 10 minutes later, I was in the ER with frosting in my hair and blood in my mouth. And the doctor's smile vanished the moment he looked at my x-ray. He didn't call my sister. He didn't call my mom. He called 911. I'm Ruby, and my birthday was never a big deal in my house. Not the way it was for Lila, my older sister by 3 years. The family's golden girl with perfect hair, perfect grades, perfect fiancé, and a laugh that filled the whole room, especially when the laugh was at someone else. Growing up, I learned to stay small. I learned to be the easy one. The one who didn't complain when Lila borrowed my clothes and stretched them out. The one who didn't overreact when Lila told people my diary entries were cringy. The one who smiled through it because my mom would say, "Ruby, don't be so sensitive." And my dad would grunt behind his newspaper like emotions were static. He could tune out. So, when my coworkers surprised me with a little party at the office, I almost cried happy tears, not the usual kind. "Ruby, you have to take a picture with the cake," Maya from HR said, pushing me gently toward the conference room table. The cake was gorgeous, vanilla buttercream, gold sprinkles, and my name piped in neat cursive. "Happy birthday, Ruby." I was still staring at it when my phone buzzed. "Leela, Mom says you're coming tonight, right? I planned something fun. Don't be weird about it." I should have listened to the way my stomach tightened, but I hadn't seen my parents in a month. And part of me still wanted that impossible thing, a birthday where I wasn't the punchline. That evening, I drove to my parents' house with the office cake on the passenger seat belted in like a precious passenger. I even bought a new lipstick, something I never did because I told myself this time would be different. When I walked in, the living room lights were dimmed, and Leela's voice drifted from the kitchen, bright and theatrical. "Okay, everyone, phones ready. Everyone." My heart lifted. For a second it felt like a real surprise party until I stepped into the room and realized that everyone was just Leela. My mom, my dad, and Ethan, Leela's fiancé, perched on the couch like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Ruby," Mom chirped. "There she is." Leela appeared holding her own cake, bigger than mine, triple layer chocolate with thick swirls of icing, like something from a bakery display case. There were candles, too so many it looked like a small fire hazard. "You didn't have to," I said, forcing a smile. "Oh, I did," Leela said, and the way she smiled didn't reach her eyes, "because we're going to do this right." I set my office cake down carefully. "I already have one, but perfect," Leela cut in. "2 cakes, double the fun." She snapped her fingers. "Ethan, start recording." Ethan hesitated. "Lil, do we really need to just record?" she said sharply. And he obeyed with that exhausted look men get when they've learned peace comes from compliance. I felt a prickle of unease. "Leela, what are you doing?" She leaned close, smelling like expensive perfume and confidence. "Relax, Ruby, it's a tradition." "What tradition?" "The one where you finally stop acting like you're better than everyone because you have a little office job and a little apartment." My smile slipped. "I don't act like that." Lila's eyes flashed. "You do. You always have." Quiet little Ruby, judging us with those big sad eyes. Mom clapped her hands too loudly. "Candles. Ruby, make a wish." I looked at the cake. The flames wavered, bright and innocent. I closed my eyes anyway and wished desperately for a birthday where I didn't have to brace for impact. "Okay," Dad said. "Blow them out." I leaned forward. That's when Leela shoved the cake. Not gently, not playfully. She drove it forward with both hands like she was slamming a door in an argument. The plate hit my chin first hard, then the cake exploded across my face. Frosting filling my nose, my mouth, my eyes. For one frozen second, there was silence. Then Lila laughed, not a giggle, a full, roaring laugh like she'd just delivered the world's best punchline. "Oh my God," she gasped between laughs. "Ruby, your face." I couldn't breathe right. My nose burned. My mouth tasted like sugar and metal. I wiped at my eyes with shaking hands, trying to clear the frosting. When I could finally see, I saw Maya's beautiful office cake on the table, now smeared because my elbow had knocked it sideways. My lip throbbed. Something warm dripped down my chin. Blood. "Ruby," Ethan said, his voice low. "You're bleeding." Lila was still laughing. "She's fine. It's frosting. It's blood," Ethan said. Firmer. Mom hurried over with paper towels, dabbing at my face like she was cleaning a spill. "Ruby, honey, don't cry. You'll ruin your mascara." "I'm not crying," I said, but my voice cracked. My jaw felt wrong, like it didn't want to sit where it belonged. Lila leaned toward the camera Ethan was holding. Zoom in. This is gold. I stared at her, frosting sliding off my eyelashes. Why would you do that? She rolled her eyes. It's a joke. Don't be dramatic. My teeth clicked together, and pain shot up the side of my face. A sharp, sickening pain that made my knees wobble. I think I swallowed, tasting blood. I think something's wrong. Lila's smile flickered. Just for a moment, like her brain registered that this wasn't playing out the way she planned. Then she recovered. Ruby, you're always like this, she said, voice dripping with irritation. You can't handle anything. You make everything about you. My hands trembled as I pressed the paper towels to my mouth. The towel turned red fast. Ethan stepped forward. We're going to the ER. Lila scoffed. For a cake smash. Seriously. Ethan's jaw tightened. You hit her with the plate. It was plastic. Lila snapped. I looked down. The plate had been ceramic, white, heavy, now cracked in two near the trash can. Like evidence someone wanted to hide. My stomach turned. Ethan drove. I sat in the passenger seat, holding a wad of towels to my lip, trying not to panic. Lila followed in her car, honking once when Ethan didn't wait for her to pull out first. You okay? Ethan asked quietly at a red light. I swallowed. My throat was tight. Why did she do that? He exhaled. Gets like this when attention isn't on her. That was the most honest thing anyone in my family had ever said out loud. In the ER. The fluorescent lights made everything look harsh. A nurse named Janelle took one look at my face and led me back immediately. What happened? She asked. I hesitated because I'd been trained my whole life to soften Lila's sharp edges for everyone else. My sister, I said finally, shoved a cake into my face. Janelle's eyebrows lifted. With what? Her hands. With the plate, I admitted. Janelle's expression changed. Okay, we're going to get you checked out. They cleaned the frosting from my hair like it was a crime scene. I kept touching my jaw because it felt swollen already, like my face was filling with heat. When the doctor came in, Dr. Harris, mid-40s with kind eyes, he examined my mouth, my jaw, my cheekbone. You have a split in your lip, he said, and your jaw alignment feels off. I want an X-ray. Lila burst into the room like she owned it. There she is, the birthday girl. Dr. Harris turned. Are you family? I'm her sister, Lila said, too cheerful. She's a little dramatic. My stomach dropped. Familiar shame rising like a tide. Dr. Harris didn't smile. Please wait outside while I examine her. Lila's eyes widened. Excuse me, outside, he repeated. For once, someone didn't bend to her. Lila left, muttering under her breath. I heard her in the hallway complaining to Ethan. Can you believe this? She's making me look like some kind of villain. The X-ray took minutes. Waiting for the results felt like hours. When Dr. Harris returned, his face was different. No softness, no casual calm. He held the image up to the light, and I saw the pale outline of my skull, my jaw, and a dark, jagged line near my cheekbone. What is that? I whispered. That, he said carefully, is a fracture. And not just one. You have a fracture in your jaw and a small fracture near your orbital bone. My hands went cold. From a cake, from blunt force trauma, he said. Then his eyes met mine, direct and steady. Ruby, I need to ask you something. Did she hit you? I opened my mouth, and the truth waited there like a stone I'd been carrying for years. She does things, I said quietly. She always has. But everyone says it's just how she is. Dr. Harris nodded once, like he'd heard this story too many times. I'm calling 911, he said. I blinked. What? Why? Because this is an assault that caused serious injury, he said, and because I'm required to report suspected abuse when I believe a patient is unsafe. Are you safe going home with her? My throat tightened. I thought of the ceramic plate cracked in the trash. I thought of Lila's laughter while I tasted blood. I thought of Mom dabbing at my face and telling me not to cry. No, I wasn't safe. I'd just gotten good at surviving. Dr. Harris stepped out, and through the thin curtain, I heard him speaking calmly into a phone. A physician, adult female patient with facial fractures consistent with blunt force trauma. Yes, requesting police response. My heart hammered like it wanted out of my chest. When the officers arrived, Lila's laugh was gone. She sat rigid in a chair, arms crossed, eyes darting between Ethan and my parents, who had arrived and were now hovering like anxious ghosts. Mom's voice rose. This is insane. It was a prank. One officer, Officer Ramirez, stepped closer to me. Ruby, can you tell us what happened? I glanced at Lila. Ruby, can you tell us what happened? I glanced at Lila. She was staring at me with a look I'd seen before, warning. Punishment, don't you dare. I looked at Ethan instead. His face was pale, eyes tired. He gave me the smallest nod, like he was silently saying, tell the truth, so I did. I told them how Lila shoved the cake, how the plate hit my face, how she laughed, how she called me dramatic, how my parents tried to smooth it over, and then something I didn't expect happened. Officer Ramirez asked, has anything like this happened before? I opened my mouth to say no, out of habit, but Dr. Harris's question echoed in my head. Are you safe? And suddenly, I saw it all. Lila accidentally pushing me down the stairs when I was 15. Lila slamming a locker door into my shoulder as a joke. Lila telling my boyfriend in college that I was crazy so he dumped me on, then laughing when he did. I swallowed hard. Yes, I said, it's happened before. The room went still. Lila's face twisted. Are you kidding me? Ruby, you're going to ruin my life because you can't take a joke. Mom gasped. Ruby, stop. Think about what you're doing. Dad finally spoke, voice low and angry. You're embarrassing us. And in that moment, something inside me, something small and terrified, stood up straight. No, I said. My voice shook, but it was mine. You embarrassed yourselves when you protected her, over and over. Lila laughed again, but it was sharp, frantic. Oh my God, you're such a victim. Officer Ramirez held up a hand. Ma'am, please stop speaking. Lila's eyes widened. You can't be serious. Officer Ramirez's voice was calm. Based on the medical report and her statement, this is being treated as assault. Ethan spoke up then, surprising everyone. I saw the plate, he said quietly. It wasn't a joke. She shoved it hard. Lila snapped her head toward him. Ethan, his shoulders sagged. I can't keep doing this. For the first time, Lila looked scared, and for the first time, I realized her power wasn't magic. It was permission. The officers separated everyone. They took my statement in private. Dr. Harris documented my injuries. A social worker asked me about a safe place to stay. I didn't go home with my parents. I went home to my apartment, the little apartment, Lila mocked, and it felt, for the first time, like a fortress. Over the next weeks, my face healed slowly. My jaw was wired for a while, and I had to eat soup and soft foods. Talking hurt, smiling hurt, but the physical pain was almost easier than the emotional whiplash, because my phone exploded. Mom called crying, begging me to fix it. Dad left voicemails telling me I was destroying the family. Lila texted furious paragraphs about lawsuits and reputation and how I'd always been jealous. And then, one night, I got a message from Ethan. Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't know how bad it was until I saw it. I ended things. I told the truth. I stared at that text for a long time. I didn't feel triumph the way revenge stories make it look. I felt relief, because the revenge wasn't me plotting something elaborate. The revenge was refusing to be the quiet one anymore. A month later, there was a hearing. I walked in wearing a simple dress, my lips still slightly scarred, my jaw still tender. Lila sat across the room in a blazer she probably bought just for the occasion, looking like she was auditioning for innocence. When it was my turn to speak, my hands shook, but I looked at the judge and said, clearly, I am not here because I want to punish my sister. I am here because I want her to stop. Lila's eyes flicked to mine, cold, and I held her gaze. Afterward, outside the courthouse, Mom approached me carefully, like I was an animal that might bite Ruby. She whispered, we didn't know it was that serious. I almost laughed. Almost you did know, I said softly. You just didn't want to. Her eyes filled with tears. She's your sister, and I'm your daughter, I replied. I deserved protection too. Mom didn't have an answer for that. I walked away. Months passed. My birthday came around again, and I didn't go to my parents' house. I didn't answer Lila's messages. I didn't play my old role. Instead, Maya and a few friends came over to my apartment. They brought a small cake store-bought, a little lopsided, absolutely perfect. We lit the candles. I made a wish, not for my family to change, but for me to keep choosing myself. When I leaned forward to blow them out, Maya grinned and said, no cake violence in this house. I laughed real laughter, the kind that doesn't taste like blood. And in the warm glow of those candles, I realized something. Lila didn't take my power that night. I handed it to her, again and again, because I thought love meant enduring. But real love doesn't demand you bleed to prove you belong. If you've ever been told you're too sensitive when someone hurts you, I want you to remember this. Your pain is real, and it matters. If this story hit home, Take a second to like the video, subscribe for more dramatic revenge stories, and comment. Have you ever had to stand up to someone you loved? Sometimes the biggest revenge isn't getting even, it's finally getting free. Finally getting free.